Greetings, my name is Kevin Kozar, and today I'm here to talk to you about propaganda in 4 minutes or less. What is propaganda? Propaganda is the use of unclear or misleading information or outright lies by an individual or organization to promote, publicize, or persuade people to their cause for their own profit. Is all propaganda bad? Well, it actually depends on the type or level of propaganda. So what are the types of propaganda? Well, there are 3 types or levels: green, yellow, and red. Note that these levels or types have different labels than those traditionally used of white, gray, or black, because I consider those labels to be outdated. So first, let's discuss green propaganda. The first part of green propaganda is that it is based upon unclear or misleading information. 2, you usually know who the source is behind the information. A foundational example of green propaganda is Rosie the Riveter, and other propaganda used by the United States during World War II to support the war effort, such as selling war bonds, getting people to join the military, etc. A more recent version of green propaganda is advertising in general. The next is yellow propaganda. Yellow propaganda is based upon misleading information or outright lies. Next, you also don't know who the source is completely. It may be an organization that you don't really know who's behind it. A foundational example of yellow propaganda is UK's effort to print German language newspapers and airdrop them over Germany during World War II. A more recent example of yellow propaganda is advertising by third-party political action committees such as Americans for Prosperity. You know the name of the organization, but you don't really know who's behind it. Lastly, we have red propaganda, and this is the level that most people consider to be propaganda. With it, most of it is based upon outright lies or slandering of ethnic groups. Next, you either know who's behind the propaganda and think you should be able to trust them, or you do not know who's behind it at all. Foundational examples of red propaganda are the German campaign against the Jews in World War II, making them out like insects, and the US's campaign against the Japanese during World War II, making them out to be, in this case, rats, but they were also made to look like monkeys, apes, things like that. A more modern example of red propaganda is the White House's case for the war in Iraq in 2003, based upon lies about weapons of mass destruction. In conclusion, not all propaganda is good or bad. The importance is to know the difference between the different types, to know how they've been used traditionally, how they're being used now, and ways to filter them out, and most importantly, to think for yourself. Thank you.